retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Take for their disease. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. Time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
One, did you just flip me off? Is that what just happened, Prince? Oh, I know.
Telling you the number one.
Yeah. That was the intro. He flipped me off. Hey, everybody. Dr. Fears back. Thursday night podcast at a beautiful shop in front of a beautiful car, the Patriot. As you can see, man, this thing's awesome. John, I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, man, I appreciate you letting us be here at your shop.
Well, we enjoy y'all coming down. We're looking forward to this weekend, and hope everything goes pretty good. We got it hopped up and ready. With like I said, told you earlier, whichever way it's gonna go, I don't know, but we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be fun driving it. Can't wait to see you sitting in it. You know.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good time.
It'll be fun sitting in it while it's running and kind of get an idea of what we do and how much fun we have. And it's been a long time trying to get this thing together and turn out real good.
Yeah, well,
we're excited about it.
It's one of my favorite cars. I love Altereds. They look like they're just meant to go really fast.
Yeah.
What'd you say it weighs? How much does it weigh?
1,950 pounds with me in the car.
With you in the car.
1,950 pounds. It's light.
So it's like 1,850 pounds.
my doctor's on it. I'm trying to shave off something to get that one piece fire suit we gotta wear. So I got another 20 pounds I gotta drop.
So with this engine on a 1,900-pound car, what kind of horsepower do you have on this?
This is somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 horsepower.
Are you serious?
No, it's like all the Pro Mods, the Brad Anderson motors.
Oh wow!
Somewhere in that neighborhood, 4,500, 5,000 horsepower. So to get something this light to move down a track without toting the front wheels, adding a weight bar to it and all that, we covered that earlier. But you got to kind of add some weight to it till you get it right where you want it at. So, and this is a harder car to drive. It don't have a body on it like the car I used to drive. I'm a funny car. Don't have a body on it. You got a front wing and the back wing here that kind of pivots a little bit. Didn't think the front wing was nothing but for looks until Murphy Kenny said, well, you're driving 100 miles an hour and 60 or 100 foot off the start line. If you was in a car, put your hand out the window and say how much force you'd have.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
That's when the front wing, we started figuring out how to adjust it. So
gotcha.
It's fun to adjust and drive. You got more than just a motor, transmission, and wheels. You got the wings you got to adjust. You got to adjust.
I didn't even think about it. It's like an F1 car.
You know, this is a clutch in here, a crowd clutch in there. We adjust the clutch. We don't run automatics.
That's right. Real drag racers.
Yeah, real drag racers. Yeah, real drag racers. We adjust the clutch.
Hey, no offense to the automatic guys.
We don't make blown going down the racetrack. We don't do our taxes going down the racetrack. We're not like another corn farmer named John Sullivan that does his taxes or goes down the racetrack.
Oh, that John Sullivan.
My stepson. Yeah.
Your stepson, John?
Stepson.
Yes.
He told me his dad earlier. So
oh, yeah.
I hope he's watching.
He said he missed you and couldn't wait to see you.
He's probably sitting in his old man chair with his glasses on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so it's an old style with this car here, and Dan Lucas's dragster over here. We still run the clutches. I think we can adjust to some tracks a little bit better on cool nights or warm days or whatever. That's how we prefer to do it.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more work involved. You actually got to work on the car. Sometimes you got to pull the clutch out. Dan does with his dragster.
Yep.
This in here we adjust and make up for it. And if we start taking too much off the clutch, we pull the clutch out and put a new clutch in. So in between rounds. So
that sounds like a whole lot of fun. I mean, it sounds to me too like there's like an endless. It's like chess.
Yeah.
There's an endless amount of variables that you can adjust.
Yeah.
To get there, but once you find it, then you're set.
You're setting this, that, and other, and then you adjust to different tracks you go to. Most of the tracks that we're running with y'all now are good prep tracks. They take care of them real good, put a lot of glue down, that, and other, so you can not worry so much about the back track being slick. You can start adjusting stuff with a clutch or whatever, and then Kenny works on the motor, Junior's on the clutch, so we all got different areas that everybody. It's like chess, like you said. Everybody changes something different, but on these cars, you have to change it a little at a time. You can have all the horsepower in the world, but your brain box is in the clutch right here. So you start with that, you put your motor where you need it at, and then you let your clutch work to it on these cars. And it being light, being squirrely. I like it toting the front wheels and going all over the track. It's fun to drive. It's exciting. So
that's a level of excitement. I like two of the four wheels off the track going down 180 miles an hour. That's fun.
We did that. Barely was toting the front wheels and track, and I got off of it, and Maryland pulled the tires back up, went to the finish line. It was almost about a foot off the ground. So we knew he had some weight issues, and it was fun. It was fun to drive because you're riding on the back tires.
Oh,
So
how is it then that you're able to steer it on rear wheels? You're not.
You better hope the front end comes down.
Then
again, I went back to the donut steering wheel, like John Sullivan's probably got. So it got away from that. So I got a mark on top. So you better have it straight when the wheels come back down. That's one of the things I had to pay attention to as a driver.
Oh, that makes sense.
Not having the wheels turn, because you're either going in the wall or you're going into another guy when the wheels come back
when
down.
your wheels are coming off the ground, do you think it's possible that they're spinning so fast that with that gyration or the centrifugal force, just by turning the steering wheel with the front wheels spinning, you can sort of steer it still? Like
not much. The front wheels, once you leave, it depends on, usually if it's going to come the front wheels, it does it first 60 foot. So you're not turning that much. You got them spinning, but it don't mess your driving up or make your wheels, your steering wheel turn either way or whatever. So, and then when it comes back down, you definitely want them to be straight. So we're trying to get it where maybe toting them a little far out there and setting them back down, because you're getting the wheel and we're adjusting the clutch. The tire pressure is critical.
Are you running a liner?
Yeah, there's a liner in there.
So what is that? This is tech time with Dr. We're
He's
not just
talking
hanging
to the
out.
wrong person if he's talking tech. So. Idiot driver.
Well,
idiot
there's
driver.
so much to learn, and I can't get enough of it. So with the liners, does that create rigidity and the top? I mean, is that the concept behind it to create some?
The inner liners we use run 50 pounds in the inside, and that just keeps it from spinning on the rim. And the outside
Okay.
tire is we've actually talked about this, me and Kenny, about going back up in tire pressure. He got it down to 4.5 pounds down in Georgia outside. We're gonna go back up to 5.5 pounds because it's squatting too much and wrinkling.
So
too
that
much.
1 pound makes quite
makes a big difference.
Wow.
When you leave the start line, you can see in the picture of the car if it's wrinkling, the car is squatting, and it needs to, when it first moves, it needs to get up on the tires, and the tires need to grow instead of squat down.
Is that a pretty standard thing for you guys as a team or as a racer to have somebody videoing the cars it takes off, so you go back and
we
look at?
We video it, stand behind the cars like every racer now. You watch the car how it reacts. Years ago, you didn't. You was trying to get down a track and that. No, didn't really video, but everything plays a factor. Even with the pro mods, with alcohol dragsters, how stuff moves. Somebody videotapes just the tires to see if they shake when you leave the starting line.
Yeah.
I can feel it usually if it starts shaking. So far, we hadn't put all the horsepower in this motor to make it start shaking. And that's when it's slipping and grabbing, slipping and grabbing.
And is that
Pretty
called
simple.
getting up on the tire?
Getting up on the tires, usually when it leaves, it grabs good, but you got the right amount of pressure. Your clutch is hitting just right, and the tire kind of squeezes at an early part of the track. That's what you want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these other guys will tell you the same thing. They want to get on the tires quick because that's when you get your ET, your horsepower, when the car's moving quicker.
Gotcha.
Going down the track instead of squatting down. Riding on the wheelie bar with the front in the air, you're not getting a good ET. Fun to drive again, but you're not getting a good ET. So if we can get it where it's not squatting and barely toting the front tires, I think the car's got a good number in it. But it's going to take a little while to get there.
Yeah, just so too.
Best thing, we're having fun doing it.
Amen.
You know,
I mean, how could that not be? Like, that to me is the epitome of fun. Like all the
adjustments. And this
like,
weekend, and when we run over in Georgia and future races, I said, getting a car to go from A to B straight, and it's that and other, and everything else is the number one goal, and not even pay attention. Now, it makes it a little bit more competitive when you hear somebody in the next lane revving up. I get my eyes get a little beady, my ears get pointed, I get a little more keen. So I hear somebody in the next lane, and it pumps me up to pay attention as a driver. When nobody's over there, I'm kind of a little relaxed, and I'm nonchalant about cutting the light. And sometimes they have walked up and say, "Hey, you got to go." Tap on the car, so leave the brake lights on. So,
you sleep over here? What's happening?
Getting back in the routine. It's just a routine of everything involved.
Yeah.
With a short wheelbase car with a lot of horsepower, and there's not many around here like this here, and it's a challenge. Everybody wants to go out there and run as straight as they can be.
Yeah.
Run down the track. Every pass the same number, come back around, have less stuff to do on the car. We're, believe it or not, we people
looking for things.
Why are you doing this way or whatever? How come you run a different system? It's a bigger challenge. And I still believe you take a lot of it out. You take a lot of the driver out, run different type setups. You take not working on the car and making it work, and it's more of a challenge. And we probably won't run fast numbers like some people, but when we get it there, and once we go down the track, you'll think we won the lottery. And this bunch right here, I guarantee you, they'll be screaming and hollering. And you're like, yeah, he didn't hit the wall. He actually went down the track. You'll think
he did hit the wall.
You'll think, what are they yelling and having fun
But
about?
it was sketchy hitting the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a couple of marks on this tire right here. Well, actually, the steering wheel come off, I think, Montgomery, when I did a burnout.
Oh, no way.
Hit the wall, yeah. And actually, the crazy thing about it, we've been running that steering wheel, and the pin had been broke, keeping the steering wheel on for a long time.
No way.
Did a burnout in Montgomery and come off, and I eased over there and barely bumped the wall. We got to looking, and the steering wheel wasn't being held on for a long time.
Once
we first got to working on it, so I said, okay, we got a few other things we got to add to the checkoff list, like make sure the steering wheel's on the car. So thank God Wayne here got to working on this one right here. And I said, okay, Wayne, I got to have something I can really pull on real hard and make sure it don't come off. So,
well, that's incredible. I mean, I can't believe that it just happened to come off during the burnout and all the other passes.
the lead ones
Been
on
pulling off
tracks
with the broken pin.
at night, another on top end, where we're running close to 200 miles an hour on some of the tracks we run before with this car here, with it new. And luckily, thank God, the steering wheel didn't come off going through the lights or somewhere. I couldn't steer it. I just have to sit there and whatever it run into, I just have to hang on to the car. car.
Oh my God.
And
Like a
we
pinball
run off some
machine.
end of the track with a funny car before. I wrecked in Bradenton, Florida in 06, and that wasn't fun. That's the only time I really had a bad wreck in a funny car, new funny car.
I heard it's inevitable.
Yeah. And usually it's coming somehow when you have machines, you have to go over everything with me and the crew, go over safety stuff. Because like anything else, you kind of get a little relaxed on going through the motions and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have a crowd involved, or you have people coming around that's talking to you, distraction or whatever. And we got some barricades we're gonna put around the car. You have all that, and your safety stuff. How the parachutes. Brianna helps me pack the parachutes, and all drivers need to pack their own chutes. And that's the big factor. That's personal opinion. I think all drivers, and most of them, I think, do whatever they got to have somebody they trust more than themselves.
It's almost like flying an airplane.
It is.
I mean, you go through your pre-flight inspection, you check everything, you go through your list, I mean, because really, it's probably way more dangerous than flying an airplane.
Yeah.
I'd have to imagine.
My dad had a helicopter for years, and he thought I was crazy. And he said, I'm just scared to go watch. I said, you're flying a helicopter as a hobby. And he said, you're off the ground. But they are, and all these cars, anytime you've seen videos, you've seen races with funny cars, pro mods, and alters and everything getting a wreck. And, the safety stuff, the harnesses, the Hans device, and all that stuff you check it every time. Kenny straps me in the car every time. And we got a routine we go through, and we don't shuffle. Sometimes Kenny will snatch a belt real tight. I said, wait a minute, man, you're killing me in certain parts of my body. You're killing me. Shut up. And he'll snatch down even more on me sometimes. But anyway,
Oh, yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. Where's Dan?
Dan is, where's he at in here? Where you at, Dan? Quit hiding over here. Come over here. Come over here, man. Bring your chair over here. I told you he was going to be talked to or talked about, one or the other.
Yeah. I'm all over both.
Yeah.
No, you can't hide. Right. We got you. Let's put a little mic on you.
Get the man. Get that man in the chair.
Okay.
Fix me up.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah, everybody know who this is? World famous Dan Lucas? Are you
Dan's the
serious?
man
Dan the Man Lucas. Okay.
Lord.
Is this right? Are you? Yeah, I don't want to throw you out here like this, but you said this, what I thought was.
Throw it out. Throw it out. Let's go.
Are you the oldest NHRA certified dragster driver?
I think so. Top alcohol and top fuel. I think I'm the oldest. I'm 83.
You're 83.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Are
Yeah,
you serious?
83. I was born
I mean, we're
83.
saying kind of puts in perspective. Yeah. Wow. So when did you start racing?
High school, of course, but as far as NHRA division, we got 7 divisions within NHRA.
Yeah.
My original number was 2D005. I was the 5th guy to get competition license in NHRA.
No.
1972.
Really?
Yeah. And then in 75, we went to Pro Comp. And then they gave me a new number. I put a blower on the car, and we went Pro Comp racing in 75. And then I became TAD 267. And I've had that number since 1975.
Some of the guys, the tech inspectors or whoever's looking at it, are like 67. Like, wait a
Google
second.
back, baby. Hey, no, wait a minute. Google, don't go back that far.
Yeah, like, what is happening? Yeah, Google, don't go back that far.
And my license was signed by a Buster Couch. The guys that are here, Buster passed away long before they even. Buster's right. We were the guys with the Confederate flags and so forth.
Amen. And that was so your first license was a dragster car?
Yeah, it was.
So you've been driving dragsters, right? Now, are these the cool old school dragsters where you're sitting over the rear?
My first car was, but then we crashed that one, Carol.
Man, those things are sketchy looking, but they were super cool.
Yeah.
But
then
what was that famous picture that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just rear engine traction. What was 75, 74? Anyway, before Gilmore down in Pensacola.
Carol, don't ask me about your conversation over there.
But we went to rear engine dragster and been with rear engine ever since. Yeah.
And it was so rear engines, was that kind of a new thing in '74, or
Yeah.
And you were what, maybe one of the first guys that were like, yeah, let's try this thing out.
I would say, yeah, I was one of the first guys. Garlish, of course, came out with that. The guy's foot hurt.
Yeah.
And then a year
Oh, wait,
later,
was
we
that
had
the one where it's that picture of his car
Cut
exploding and
yeah,
he's like
yeah,
flying
yeah,
out of the
yeah, cut
man?
the rock,
Yeah.
cut the
Holy
bottom part
cow.
of
He
his rock.
changed drag racing. Then he
Oh,
thought
yeah.
ahead of time and thought about making things safe, and he really changed. It wouldn't be, the dragsters wouldn't be where they at now. The safety wouldn't be for him, I think. So
Oh, he was.
and that was old
yeah,
school, but
he has a lot
So
to
John,
do with it.
you're a dragster guy, originally a dragster guy.
from the car, old Cheryl Grill car, and I really, you said sitting on the rear end, I put my legs over the
Yeah,
rear end,
right in that the legs
Right
were
in that,
over the
yeah.
rear. It was basically a little bucket in the back with the
Right.
cage.
and I got an old picture of it. I'll show you sometime. There we go, right there. There's the car, and it's. I swapped a chop top Corvette for that car right there, and started racing when I was 16. Took it to the track, bought it from the Todd family, swapped the car, and went to the racetrack, and didn't even know how to put nothing in gear. Bought a motorcycle helmet, and
And
that's a old car. One of Cheryl Grill's first fuel cars.
really,
Yeah, and they had the bicycle with front wheels on it. I took them off and put them on. So
yeah, it's
Sure,
funny
like
watching
an old
those videos of the front wheels coming up.
Yeah.
They're all shaky and then they hit. I'm like, oh, how are they not like caving in?
they're
Like,
worse
look
when you
like,
back up because they get the wiggle when you back up and you have to stop.
yeah.
And that's what made me change the front end wheels on that car there. But that was back when I was 16. So
So help me understand the evolution between, because this even looks, I mean, it's a dragster, right?
yeah,
But it
an
looks
Alter.
like an altered.
That's an Alter.
It looks like an altered.
Yeah.
And your first dragster, was that considered a dragster or an altered?
No, it was a dragster.
It was a dragster.
It didn't have any kind of body.
They had-
Just a cowling.
Yeah.
It was a windscreen and the rear end and front end out there. In those days, we thought it was a 180-inch car. We thought it was one of the longest cars out there, 180 inches. Now we have 300, you know.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, because so were altereds kind of a thing along with dragsters when they first came out? Like somebody was like, let's shorten them and make them.
In the early ages, they was all over and they hopped up, and that's why you got a lot of Alters running all over the United States now, and they have fuel motors in them and everything else. And the nostalgia of drag racing part of the Alters are coming back. You got guys that's got these cars that's got nitro motors in them.
No
And you-
way.
yeah.
Oh, you ought to
And
watch
altered with nitro motors.
Yes, you ought to watch them run. There's something kicking 6-foot flames out. I told the crew, I said, I'm gonna run nitro. But anyway, somebody's a little scared about nitro. But anyway, they got these cars here are even harder to drive when they run 250 something miles an hour in one of these cars on the 8th mile. Yeah, not a quarter,
Oh my lord.
an 8th. We're talking about
So nitro
350s.
altered doing 250s and
350,
Or 250
350s
miles
and
an hour.
360s on the 8th mile time wise, kicking out 6-foot flames. There you got a guy named Pete Dove. You got a bunch of them, Texas bunch. It runs with a Chaos bunch. And
So I've seen the. I know that I've seen altered funny car or nitro funny cars.
Mhm.
It's basically you take the body off and turn it into an altered.
Yeah.
Is that basically?
that's what a lot of guys have did. They took bodies off. They bought running. Mitch King had a funny car. They took the body off. Somebody put an altered body on it, and he bought a tune-up from him. And I can't remember the guy's name, but you got a lot of guys out in Texas. That's what they did.
So is it an aesthetic thing or is it a weight thing? I mean, is it why take the funny car body off and turn it into an altered?
To
per
run
se?
the class and have the thrill of running just a different type car. You're
Sure.
open bodied, nothing's in front of you beside the motor.
Oh, I
you have a
see.
funny car body on. You're sitting there and you can't be claustrophobic. You actually, it's a lot quieter than it is outside the car. You got a body around you, you got tin work, you got your helmet on, and you're in a tight space that's got sheet metal around you. So it's either open face, what I'm running here, or closed funny car. It's just personal choice. And once you ever drive one of these right here, and you run a funny car, you'll like this one right here, in my personal opinion. You'll like running one of these things than running a.
Because they're open and
Yeah, they're open
it
and
feels.
You know,
yeah.
there's 1,000 funny cars, a bunch on I'm not knocking them. I met a bunch of guys and they're really nice. And it's just what the driver or a crew prefers to shut a body down and have funny. This car is different, which some people always said I've always been different. I wanted something different that nobody else had around here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go.
It's definitely different.
And I've seen some of them. I flew to Texas and I had this car was being built. And I went out there and I really got the itch watching Mark, good friend of mine, Mark Billington, said, if you ever drive one of these cars, it's much fun you're having a drag race. He said, I drove one. He still runs alcohol funny cars. I mentioned his name before in the podcast, I believe. And, you know, Jimmy Jones, he runs an altered, and he used to run funny cars. Mm-hmm. Some of the guys that used to run funny cars, they run an altered, and they say this is the most fun I've had for a long time. Kind of, it puts me back in this car right here, the first car, and this car was a fun car to drive. Guess what? It towed the front wheels too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun to drive, and you know, the bracket car, and then I turned it up. We got into running the Fast 8, and there was door slammers, and everybody could run a different car, and they have a Fast 8 class. In Pro Mods, a lot of people don't know this. Fast 8 Pro Mods started right here in Montgomery, Alabama.
Really?
Nobody knew that.
Ah.
And people don't know that. Buck Todd, Charles Todd.
Bet you didn't know. We should have saved that, Adam, for a Tuesday night. Bet you didn't know.
You didn't know.
Quick 8 Pro Mod started here at Montgomery.
On the old west side of town, Buck Todd, Charles Todd started putting faster cars together, and they started running an 8-car field. And Pro Mod started right here in Montgomery, Alabama.
Really?
Yeah, and we run the whole. I didn't run Pro Mod. And he started the Fast 8 funny car, and we would travel to have Fast 8 funny cars, Fast 8 Pro Mods all over the southeast. And we run on some tracks that some of the guys, like the guy to be here at Margier Roads, we would drive around potholes and on real slick tracks. Nothing like Montgomery's track out here now, which is great pavement on where we was at a month ago in Georgia. That's prepped pretty good. Dan's run on probably some real slick tracks too. But you get like old dirt track, round track drivers that started off and got into NASCAR. They seem to be a better driver because they drove for years on old tracks.
I see.
And they adjusted driving. And I haven't been doing it as long as Dan's been doing it. Oh, pray to God, I lived with me as long as he's lived there. But you change it, and this is just a different car, and I didn't want to be like anybody else. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, it's a super awesome car. I love it. Did you race with Shirley Muldowney? You ever run with
she
her?
was top fuel.
Oh, she was top
Yeah,
fuel.
she's
Yeah,
now
I
top.
gotcha.
She was always in top.
Always
fuel.
top fuel.
But we pitted by them before back in the early days.
Yeah.
You know, all those. You know, it was different in the early days with everybody knew everybody, and of course things changed when all the big name sponsors and the beer cars got in.
Oh,
and the fast food cars got in, and then all of a sudden the whole concept of the professional drag racing changed.
Well, it's interesting watching like the old, like I was saying, I like to go on TV and watch like the old 70s and 80s NHRA races. And you know, the guys are in there just working on their own stuff. The drivers are working on their own, pulling their own motors. Shirley's over there working on her own stuff. It's like it was just kind of a different thing. It wasn't, you know.
Just like with John Force, we were up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, running up there for the boys clubs of Chicago. And of course, John gets in front of the camera and he does all this crazy stuff. But then he sat there on the tailgate with us and drank beer and ate fried chicken legs, you know. So,
you know, a lot of the nitro funny car guys now come out of alcohol funny car. Bob Tasker, part right next to us. I talked to his grandfather that had a yellow bus they would bring to the racetrack. And Bob Tasker run alcohol funny car. So does Scott Coletta. They run alcohol funny car. There's a lot of them guys that run alcohol funny car for a long time. And when we run the Southers and the Gators, when the races qualifying was over, you know, everybody just walked around and talked. And it was pretty fun. It's commercialized now. You're not putting any sanction down or whatever. It's really commercialized now. Back to what you are doing. You're kind of opened up another gate of drag racing, not just for somewhere we can go run in the Southeast. It's fans could come back and pay a small parking fee to get in and walk in the track and get around cars they don't normally get to be around at some of the national events.
Right.
You can go stand back, this, that, and the other, but you can't get close. That's a professional sport. People getting paid big money to be crew chiefs and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, and that is a job, and that's fine. And I've never wanted a sponsor because I don't want to tell me what to do to start with, but imagine that. So I want to be able to go race when I want to, and this is a fun hobby for me away from my work.
Right.
But people come and they're interested, which is going to happen this weekend. There's a lot of people that's going to come to the racetrack that's going to be interested. That's never been to a racetrack before.
I'm excited about that.
I'm more excited about them coming and asking about the car and looking at the car and never seen a car like Dan or a car like mine or a car like John Sullivan's or some of the other guys coming.
Sure.
You got the Batman coming, his car, and Tim Segram's, and I wonder if he'll have his Joker with him.
Yes, he will.
Yeah, good.
Yep, we've been talking to him.
And they're a good bunch, and we're trying to get a guy out of Rome, Georgia, Bill Clanton, and he's a good guy, a good pro mod racer. But for the fans to get in the pits and talk to the racers and look at the cars up close and them understanding, and I hope they do a repeat when we run this thing back here the next time y'all decide it. You have more people coming out, but I think this race here is really going to open up some eyes. I know from people I've talked to that have never been to a race before, never been to a race. They see it on TV, and I said, that don't do it no justice.
Exactly.
Well, I see this car doing this on TV. I said, come watch the cars up close. Come stand by when they crank up. And y'all have opened that gate for racers like me and Dan to be able to come. People coming. We can't tell y'all how much we appreciate that. So,
Well, thanks, John.
for sure.
Thanks, Dan.
Big time.
I appreciate that. You know, Tish Cagle, you know, Tish and Tori, her dad, Tori, and all that. You know, Tish last year said, hey, you know, it may have been mentioned, I don't know, but I really want to push for this. We need to do a dragster class, an extreme dragster class. And I was like, okay. And we talked about it. And so at the beginning of the year, you know, she was we had a lot of conversations because I didn't know much at all about dragsters, man. I tell everybody, like I'm learning, I'm feeding through a fire hose, but I love it so much that you can crank it up higher, and I'm just going to keep retaining it. However, so we put this extreme dragster class together, and when we announced it, it was like we set the world on fire, right, Prince Adam? Like it went. I don't know what happened or what Pandora's box that we opened, but I mean, we had series owners, we had track owners, everybody talking about this extreme dragster class, and I still don't fully understand what it means to the dragster drivers or why this extreme dragster class means so much to people like you guys and Toby Baptiste. They're with Renegade Fuels and all his people and other people I've talked to, like, thank you so much. You know, we've got an outlet. This means a lot to us. And I mean, was it that there was nowhere else to do it or what? I don't understand what happened.
I can tell you that's it. 15 years ago, when we raced in the Southeast, we had 18 places to run a top alcohol dragster. Now we have 3. We have No Problem over in Bella Rose. We have Gainesville, and we have Z-Max at Concord. That's it. In the Southeast. And that goes for 20 cars too.
Yeah.
No,
There's
really?
been less places to run, and the South is a hot spot for people that want to come run dragsters. They want to come run golfers. You know,
Yeah, amen.
there is a big need, and I think where you hit on having this class, you got so many people saying, wait a minute, I got somewhere I can go, just like I told you earlier, I got somewhere I can go race now, and I could be appreciated. You know, some places, well, they got an attitude, well, he's got to have me. So you know, whatever.
Right.
And that might be the wrong way to say it, but it's the truth, you know. So I think you having some of the races here in the South, people said, okay, finally I don't have to be only pointed to 3 tracks and everything else. Because I was going to go further with this car right here just to race. I wouldn't worry about the dollar amount. We're going to this track here.
Yeah.
And everything else. So you opened up, especially for me, and probably Dan too, you're opened up a whole world. And I just hope maybe some other offers to come. You know, we talked
that'd be great.
Go to another buddy of mine in North Carolina. I hope you're watching. And maybe some of the cars that come out of Texas, but there hasn't been a place here in a long time to run around the South to run that you can run extreme dragsters and you can run the pro mod like you're doing and the nitric oxide class and a pro mod class. And I'm not in that world. They have in the past. You know, one wouldn't run the other one, and you separated that class. So you got a blown class and you got a nitric oxide class. And they can come run with their kids, and they can come run with these kids over here, and everybody's happy.
That's
I
right.
come
That's
run
a
with
positive
Dan,
move.
I can run with their dragsters. If another altar shows up, everybody's happy, everybody's racing. And yes, everybody wants to win, and yes, they want to win the money, this, that, and other. But I'd be willing to bet you 80% of the racers, it ain't about the money. We don't do this for money. You're not, unless you've got a big sponsor or whatever. He's been doing it a long time. I've been doing it 40 years. And John Sullivan's been a long time, and everybody's going to come to the racetrack. We want a place to go race.
Amen.
And have fun. This is our outlet from John riding around an air-conditioned tractor.
Yeah, right. That's automated where he's probably sleeping.
You sit there watching.
He's making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on
Yeah.
Facebook while his tractor's making passes.
Yeah, automatically. You just ride along with the dog. In the
Actually, he's probably not
tractor.
even in it. He probably just sets it and it goes, right? And he's just
He
like
probably does,
in a
yeah.
deer stand on the corner of the field, making sure it doesn't wander
Remote
off somewhere.
control tractor nowadays. So anyway, but everybody's got a place to come run, and how your rules are, and everybody else. Nobody's really got a reason to squabble. You know, I'm not going to complain. I might have to run him first round one day. That's so be it. Dan runs a lot.
So let's talk about that. So the nitrous class and the blower class is separated. You know, with the extreme dragster class, do you foresee there ever being an issue where we would maybe have to separate dragsters from all-thirds? Is there
if you get enough alters showing up, in certain tracks, you go to Rockingham, you might get 3 or 4 more that's up in the northeast that comes. If you get where it grows, and I hope you do, and you get 10, 12, 15 alters coming, then you separate them.
I got you.
But, you know,
because
why-
altereds want to run altereds and dragster guys want to
I
run.
It doesn't bother me who I'll light up against. You know.
Sweet. You want to race? You want to race Farmer John?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Run him, yeah. He's gonna have to swat me about 3 laps. John will have to swat me about 3 laps.
I mean, it doesn't. In this sport, only one's gonna win, and you get 16 cars, one's gonna win. Winning doesn't bother me. I'm sure you like to win, but if I don't, I take the attitude I would rather be here and lose than not be here at all.
I love that. That would make a great
Let me
T-shirt,
tell you
as a
what's
matter
gonna
of
be
fact.
funny. You're gonna have a foot race. If me and him ever runs each other, it ain't gonna be who leaves the starting line. It's what crew chief runs up there and taps on the car and say, "You can go now." They'll run up there and tap on both cars.
Yeah, right.
Y'all can go now. The light's green. Leave the starting line. I mean, no comment
Like,
from
wait.
anybody else. Yeah. Hey, leave the light means green. So
You can go.
you can go now. But I don't have a problem running against the drag. So I want to go racing. Some altered guys might have a problem. Some guys might have a problem with alcohol altered, running nitro altered. It's got a lot to do with the track, the driver, and anything that happened. Over there, the race in Georgia, some of the faster cars that run faster, they shook the tires. One somebody broke.
Yeah.
And things can happen.
Right.
We was on a good run until they started going to the center line. I ain't gonna run over who the guy I was running against.
Yeah.
He didn't run but a 410 against us, I believe, and he run a 390 or 380 in qualifying before. So things happen, and it's a chance. But like Dan said, we're racing. Racing's a better day than sitting at home to shop.
Amen.
And I told my crew and people that said, "What we're gonna do this weekend?" I said, "I ain't doing nothing. I'm going drag racing. I'm gonna put the phone in the trunk. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to a customer. And I hope the customers are watching. Don't call me." So, but I just want to race, just like Dan. We want to have somewhere to go race, and y'all allow that. Montgomery's going to be a good race. I think you got a good amount of cars coming. I hope a good crowd shows up.
I mean, so far.
And I think as they watch, maybe I might be, or we might be not a good example set, but we go and run with the dragsters. They say, okay, this idiot John he go runs with us. Maybe we ought to go run with him too, and whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're racing, and you can't run racing like a business. You'll go broke. Even if you got big sponsors, they pay them for everything. I don't know any racing that pays enough to go racing from week to week. Some of the bracket guys are professionals. Hugh Nate's a good friend of mine. Some of them guys could go run different races and probably make a living out of it, travel over the country, winning 10,000 here or 50,000 there, and that and other. You could probably make a business out of it.
But for most guys, I mean, I feel like most guys that are racing
I think probably 80%
have
of them.
businesses or have a
Yeah.
full-time job, and it's their outlet, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're fishing or you're drag racing,
Yeah.
it's one of the
Yep.
two.
And you got
Yeah.
fishing, hunting, boating, and this, that, and other. I got this thing together. She's been sitting back here 2 years, hadn't been cranked up, so you see what's a priority. But anyway, so you have your hobbies. I still think most of the racers that you even see tomorrow are doing it for the fun and the hobby and the bragging rights and talking their trash and this, that, and other, And,
Oh, the trash talking is good. Like I tell Adam, I love trash talking. I'm just not smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
But Adam is the wittiest. The things he says, I'm like, dude, I can never wit battle you. Like the things you say just blow my mind. And then you get John Sullivan on there too, Farmer John.
Yeah, Farmer
And,
John. Deep pockets, Farmer John.
Man, some of the stuff he says, I'm thinking, God, this guy has something up. Deep pocket Farmer John.
Yeah, deep pockets, Farmer John. He probably in a tractor and has a mirror in the tractor and he's practicing what he says. While he's in the cornfield every day, he's gonna give it to me. I know it.
Well, the spirit of the competition and just having fun with it, just the shit talking is just so great to me. You get Clyde Scott, who's 3 sheets to the wind on his Texas tee. He's getting on Facebook Live and he's just talking smack to everybody. And it's like, man, this is such a good time,
It's all fun. I think most people they don't take it too serious or whatever, And like I said, I'm not smart enough to back talk. With this thing, we'll get it going down the track, then we might talk and we get it going down the track enough that I can actually drive the car to the finish line. But I don't smack talk. Not with deep pockets, John Sullivan. You jab me, I'll jab you back. So
that's good stuff.
Overall, racers.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that heat. Jagger's still cowering somewhere from that vicious lash.
Jagger
the
did get
racing
it.
community over the years is so unique. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I know John probably could say this, and a lot of guys out there can say this, but I worked 8 hours a day. When I would come home, I wouldn't get on the phone talking to somebody I worked with. I talk with a racer because you have so much camaraderie.
Yeah.
And my phone bill was almost as much as my racing bill was because talking to other racers.
It's like everything else. We have met, and some of the best friends like Dan and Carol at a racetrack, and everybody that works on a car, you got most of the people, 99% would do anything for you. It's a family type deal. We all joke each other. We all cut up this, that, and other. But some of the best friends I have to this day, long-term friends, I met at a racetrack. I mean, some of these guys sitting right here has been with me a long time. Don't know why, but they been with me a long time. And Brianna grew up at a racetrack. She was in my arms when she was a baby at a racetrack. And you have multiple families, and there's been a lot of pro mod guys that we've known and used to race together when they had the funny car show and the pro mod show. We all hung out. We'd all go eat afterwards, or somebody'd be barbecuing, or the crew would come by and eat what they want to. And you have a lot of that going on, and most of the racers and families are close, and they've been doing it a long time. So,
How great would it be to just have a big community or subdivision of racers?
it'd be awesome.
There's 150 home community, and everybody is a drag racer.
House about this big, house about this big.
Everybody had a barn dominium, right?
Yeah.
Like a 900 square foot house, but like a 5,000 square foot garage.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Oh, put a drag strip in the middle of it.
Drag strip in the middle. I have did burnouts on this on the road.
That's a great idea, Adam. Why hasn't somebody developed a drag strip community?
Probably because the drag racers can't afford it. They got race cars.
It's got a lot to do with it. But I think John, don't he fly a plane around a pretty good bit?
He does. He flies a plane.
He can build a track, like land his plane and put it in his hangar beside his race car.
He keeps threatening to land his plane at XRP right on the track.
He'll land it out here this weekend. He'll fly and land the plane on the track.
You know what? That's a great idea.
No balls, no glory, John. There you go. Put the plane on the track. Put the plane on the track. There you go. I'll fly with you. I'll come fly. We'll land on the track together. And probably I'll go to jail. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. It is the buzz and the hype behind it just exploded, way different than SGMP. I'm not sure about that market, maybe just the time of year. Well, there's probably a million different reasons, but this seems to be the heart of some serious action. I can't wait. Like, I feel like this should be one of our marquee events for sure throughout the year moving forward.
I think you've had a great track here for a long time, over 20-something years and everything else, and it's just waiting for something big to happen, something different to come in that's a little different than the other races they've had here and everything else. It is something different, and also watching out after the crowd and the fans that's coming in with their money, paying like they're going to be paying. I keep stressing that to so many people. You can actually come in and enjoy it and ain't break, you won't be broke or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing.
We should clarify that. Just for anybody watching, let's make it very simple. It's $25 to park. $25. I'm in a Volkswagen, to a motor coach, right? Or a bus to a bug. It doesn't matter. Pack as many people as you can in there. It's $25 to park. It's not $25 per person in the vehicle. It's $25 per vehicle to come in. So bring a bus, bring a whole caravan of people in SUVs. Like, it's certainly worth the money. For the folks leaving the comments, oh, it's not free, you paid $25 to park. Well, I mean, it's almost free if you bring 5 people. Like, if you don't have friends, I can see how you might get bent out of shape about that. Okay, and I'm not judging. Like, that's okay. But the other 99.5% of the people out there have friends. It's a good deal. It's going to leave some money in your pocket. You can buy some merchandise from the racers. You can buy all the hot dogs and hamburgers you want. Get yourself some beers. Buy some of our ADRL merchandise. But it's a great deal, and it's going to be fun. So I just want to clear that up. It's $25 per vehicle. So I don't know how to make that anymore.
Yeah, with saving money, you could actually come by the Patriot Pits and get a shirt. We'll have merchandise.
That's right. Get some merchandise from the racers.
We'll have merchandise there.
For sure.
You could come buy a hamburger or whatever. They got,
yes.
I think they have a steak sandwich and steaks there on Saturday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
they got
yeah.
good food there.
Yeah, good food.
Oh, man, that's what I'm talking
Steak, baked
about.
potato, and I don't want to
A
quote
steak
price.
and a baked potato.
Steak and baked potato. You go up there in the daytime, so I want me a steak and baked potato, and they cook it at night.
Oh,
at
man.
5, 6 o'clock, you go by and pick it up.
That reminds me, Prince Adam, we call him Prince Adam, PA. His family owns a very reputable, long-standing bowling alley in our community, which everybody knows about. What everybody really likes about the place is during lunchtime, you can go get like a 16-ounce ribeye for lunch, and it is the greatest steak ever. It's a beer and a giant ribeye, and you can't even go back to work because you're like, oh my God, I got the meat sweats. I ate too much food, and it's so good. Like, it's the talk of the town, right? So it's one of those things. It's what makes the bowling alley. Because the bowling alley, it's kind of smoky and old, and everybody's bowling. But man, you go in there and get a big fat ribeye. It's so good.
Can't beat that.
No, you can't. I also want to mention that everybody is welcome to race at this event. All right? I'm going to throw this out there. I don't care what class you're in. If you're box, no box, a 550 class, pro extreme, pro nitrous, or extreme dragster, you are all welcome to come race. No one's prohibited from coming. It is an open, for each one of those classes, it is open. So come race. There's no restrictions. There's no rules. No one has been banned from racing with the ADRL. So I just want to throw that out there in case, somebody thinks that they might be, which no one is. So come out and race.
And there's not an age limit, is it?
There's not an age limit. There's not an age limit.
Not an age limit.
It's, we don't
bring that up, did you?
An age minimum. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah. But this weekend, it's going to be a great time. It is a Star Wars themed event. I don't know how many people have got that message. I might be the only one walking around dressed as somebody from Star Wars, and that's okay because I don't care. It's still fun. It might be super hot, and I might be sweating to death, but it's going to be a good time. We are going to do some cash prizes for the best Star Wars costume. It is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with us. So come out. Let's have a good time. We'll have some vendors, lots of spectators, and some really good, fast, fun racing. So, and the weather's looking good. So Don't be afraid of that, people. Come on out. Get your kids away from their tablets. Public service announcement. Think of the future, folks. Do you know what social media and phones and computers and tablets and TV is doing to our future of our kids? Come on, let's develop some critical thinking skills. Let's get them out of the house, get them to the track, get them in the pits, get them learning about transmissions and clutches and fuel lines and fuel pumps and all the great stuff. Let's get their brains going, some critical thinking, and let's help develop the future of our country with drag racing. And our sport.
No
Which
way,
is drag
Dad.
racing. No way, Dad. No, I'm playing Fortnite. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. Go watch some drag racing,
That's
son.
some real fun.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good time. We're going to do some raffles, some drawings. I want to get some kids down there. If the track, I would try to do some, get a kid down there in the middle. I know it's a little sketchy, but I think that it would be really cool to bring a family child there. Horsepower, you know. Safety's first. Someone's going to be standing behind the burnout box. Nobody behind the water box.
You find them, we'll bring them on the start line. We'll put headphones on them on the start line, and they watch either John Sullivan run, the real John Sullivan, the former John Sullivan, that looks at himself in the mirror in the tractor all day. You can come watch the old John Sullivan right there beside the car. That'd be awesome. Bring the family out there.
Yeah, amen. It's going to be a really good time. So I appreciate you guys. I do. I appreciate you letting us come here, and this is super fun. And hanging out your shop, your home is absolutely beautiful. I walked in, the property's nice, and I mean, you got some nice toys, but this right here, this is where it's at. Yeah, your dragster's really nice, and your dragster's awesome too.
Thank you.
I love it. I know you can't see it back there, but Dan Lucas has a pretty sweet dragster sitting behind. It's so low and long and skinny that you can't really see it, but he'll be doing some wheelies this weekend. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, Dan's been doing some.
How are the comments? So who we got? We got anybody talking shit?
No, nobody make that shit. Everything's all good.
Good.
We've had a little bit of choppy in the video. Audio's coming through strong.
Great. All right.
All in all, we're doing good.
All right. Well, again, thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate you being with us,
Enjoy.
and
Thank you
everybody
for
else
coming
hanging out. Yeah, 100%. And we will see everybody at Montgomery International Dragway this weekend. Racers, again, Pro Extreme, Pro Nitrous, Extreme Dragster, box, no box, and 550. You're all welcome. Come hang out, come race. Let's make it a good time. There should be plenty of spectators. Weather will be good. It'll be fun. So, love you guys. Appreciate you tuning in, and peace and chick grease.